Yes! Now stop blood! Yes! Now stop blood!
The next video of all versions of Goku versus all versions of Superman is going to take over a year to make! Oh no, wait, it didn't. I didn't say it would take over a year to make, and lo and behold, it didn't. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I highly recommend you go check it out. I'll link it down below. I'm not going to go over my rules like I did last time, but I'm going to add one more. While this is called all versions of Goku versus all versions of Superman, I'm only going to use versions that are actually well known. So you're not going to see Amish Superman in this video. Now, I do want to add one more thing to part 1. I did make a mistake. I forgot to include Man of Steel Superman. As much as I don't like the DCEU, I still really should have included this version of Superman. According to Comic Books vs. the World, he's at least continent level.
The most impressive feat Superman's ever had to date in these movies is a scene he wasn't even in. In this scene here, we can see a newspaper article on the wall that claims Superman was able to move a tectonic plate to stop an earthquake.
So I would put him above Dragon Ball Evolution Goku, but below Superman from Superman Returns. I also forgot to talk about the Superman from the 4 first Superman movies. Now, I'm not going to allow him to use his time hacks because, well, I'm not allowing Goku to use any time hacks with his time machine either. But given his speed when he was flying around the Earth, he definitely has the speed to keep up with Beginning of Z Goku. However, he doesn't have any good busting feats to do any real damage. But I would still put him just above Dragon Ball Evolution Goku. We ended part 1 with Beginning of Z Goku, who's at least dwarf planet level and is just under the speed of light. Now, I did make a mistake in my last video. I forgot to mention how much slower than light Beginning of Z Goku is. The whole speed calc for Piccolo destroying the moon is about 25% the speed of light. The next version of Superman I have chosen to go up against him is AllStar Superman, from the movie, not the comics. I'm just going to look at the movie as its own standalone continuity. After Superman got super cancer, yes, that's a real thing, his power greatly increased. He was able to lift over 3 times the weight of the Earth with one arm.
It seems impossible. But it isn't. You're lifting 200 quintillion tons.
And he claimed he could do even more. So I'm just gonna say he can lift the weight of, 10 Earths. I think that's fair. Now, some may say he's a starbuster considering he beat Solaris. But Superman only managed to defeat him because he was using a much stronger suit of armor that I'm not going to allow him to use, and he had help from an army of robots that I'm definitely not going to allow him to use. Now, I want to make this clear, Superman's suit of armor is really not all that great. In fact, he pretty much only used it to protect him from the red sun rays. And his army of robots are complete fodder. But he also had help from a Sun Eater.
Meet my pet Sun Eater.
Abomination!
I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going! But I want to make this very clear, the Sun Eater was just a baby. I'm pretty sure it couldn't eat entire stars yet.
Give up, Solaris. You can't beat him. There's no need.
Oh god, I just shit myself. And Solaris, at least in the movie, is not a starbuster. He poisons stars and then slowly over time metabolizes them.
Solaris is a living solar computer. He poisons healthy stars, making them emit blue light that he can metabolize.
But what about All-Star Superman's speed? Well, he flew from the Earth to the Sun in 15 seconds, making him 33.33 times the speed of light. So in terms of speed, All-Star Superman completely speed blitzes Goku. 33 times the speed of light is a lot faster than 1/4 the speed of light. So All-Star Superman takes the win against Beginning of Z Goku. Now we're going to move on to End of Saiyan Saga Goku. According to Death Battle, when Goku flew over Snake Way, he was going over 11,000 kilometers per hour. But some Goku fans say that they really lowballed Snake Way. Snake Way is not 1,000,000 kilometers long, but is in fact 1/4 of the length of the universe. And I completely disagree with this. I'm going off of what the manga says, not what a picture that's not even to scale says. If it was to scale, King Kai's planet would be bigger than a galaxy. But I'm still not going to use Death Battle's calculation. Why? Because Goku's travel speed is completely pitiful. Instead, I'm going to go off of Goku's combat speed. This is a fight between all versions of Goku versus all versions of Superman. not Goku and Superman race to the finish. So what is End of Saiyan Saga Goku's combat speed? Well, considering he could move just as easily on King Kai's planet as he could on Earth, I would say he's at least 10 times faster at this point, making him 2.5 times the speed of light in base form. Now, I understand it takes a power level of 10,000 to destroy a planet, but according to Raditz, when Goku used the Kamehameha, his power level increased over 2 folds. But Goku has one more trick up his sleeve. He can use the Kaioken times 4, which will multiply all his stats by 4. But unfortunately, it puts a major strain on his body, and he can only use it every now and then. Using the Kaioken times 4, Goku can bust the Earth over 4 times over, and is 10 times the speed of light. Unfortunately, 10 times the speed of light is less than 33 times the speed of light. And even if you want to argue that busting 4 Earths is a lot more than lifting 10 Earths, it really doesn't matter if Goku can't even hit Superman. Plus, he can only get to that level if he uses the Kaioken, which puts a major strain on his body. Now, some of you may argue that Goku will take the win for a sheer amount of skill. After all, in the AllStar Superman movie, Superman gets his ass kicked by Kryptonians who are weaker than him all the time. But here's the thing, when Superman fought the other 2 Kryptonians, he wasn't trying to hurt them, he was even showing them mercy. They even say so themselves.
After everything we've done, you still show us kindness.
My Earth parents taught me forgiveness. Humanity has a lot to teach us.
Perhaps. Kal-El, son of Krypton, I'm proud to call you my kin.
And when Superman was fighting against Lex Luthor, who's pretty much the smartest man on Earth, he managed to take away the formula that makes humans just as strong as Kryptonians away from him without him noticing. Plus, at this point in the story, Superman was actually dying from super cancer. Yeah, he was really powerful at the beginning of the movie, but at this point he was pretty close to death's door. But what about Goku when he first showed up on Namek? Well, he trained at over 100 times Earth's normal gravity, plus he went from a power level of over 8,000 to a power level of 90,000. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, in the original Japanese manga, Goku's power level was over 8,000. Since both Goku's power level and the gravity formula match up so well, I'm going to give this version of Goku a 10 times multiplier. And on top of all of that, there's even a data page that confirms this. So at this point, Goku is 25 times the speed of light and can easily bust the Earth over 10 times over in base form. But if Goku only used the Kaioken times 4, which doesn't strain his body as much as it used to, he could blow up the Earth over 40 times over and is 100 times the speed of light. Yeah, there's no way AllStar Superman is going to take the win this time. Now we're going to move on to my absolute favorite version of Superman, Communist Superman, from Superman Red Sun. I don't normally recommend comics for you guys to check out, but this one is a must-read. Now, Communist Superman has 3 pretty good speed feats, but I'm only going to go off of his best and final one. Towards the end of the comic, Brainiac's ship is about to explode and destroy everything in a 15 million mile radius. Superman picks up the ship and flies it into space far enough to spare the Earth. People have calculated his speed to be 36 times the speed of light. And the explosion he survived would have destroyed the Earth 23.659 times over. So Communist Superman does have the speed and durability to defeat Beginning of Namek Saga Goku in his base form. All Beginning of Namek Saga Goku has to do to take the victory is to use the Kaioken times 3. So as much as I really don't want to say this because I love Communist Superman so much, Beginning of Namek Saga Goku easily takes the win. The next version of Superman I have chosen to go up against him is Smallville Superman. The one from the TV show, not the one from the comics. The one in the comics is going to appear much later on. Now, Comic Books vs. the World has also done a pretty good calc for this guy. I know I keep talking about him, but come on, he's one of my favorite power scalers. Now, in the Smallville series finale, Superman casually pushed the planet Apocalypse out of the solar system. This feat would destroy the Earth over 18,000 times over. I'll link down below Comic Book vs. the World's video about this, so you can see all of his math. I want to give credit where it's due, and I don't want to steal all his hard work. Now, we're going to go over Smallville Superman's speed later on in the video, but for now, we don't really need to, because there's really nothing Goku can even do to him. And now we're going to move on to the next version of Goku. You guys have been waiting a while for this, but we're finally getting to it. Super Saiyan Goku, end of Frieza saga. Super Saiyan is a 50 times multiplier, and unlike Kaioken, Goku can maintain this form much longer. On top of that, Goku got a major Zenkai boost before he fought Frieza. So what's Super Saiyan Goku's busting potential? Well, I would say he's well above star level. Here's why. First, let's go over first form Frieza. Frieza destroyed planet Vegeta in his first form. Now I understand that's a planet and not a star, but the planet does have 10 times the gravity of Earth, making it a large planet. You guys always know the planet busting formula I always bring up, and I always say we have the gravity, but we're missing pretty much everything else. However, we can make a few assumptions. Assuming that planet Vegeta has the same density as Earth does, it would take 1,000 times the force to destroy. I have made mistakes about cubing my math before, but luckily I watched a video by Noggin that explained what would happen if the Earth was twice as big.
What if in a split second the Earth doubled in size? Let's assume that the density remains constant, so the mass of the Earth increased as well. The Earth would have 8 times as much mass, and gravity would be twice as strong.
So if Earth had twice the gravity and it was the same density, it would be 8 times as big. Therefore, if Earth had 10 times the gravity and had the same density, it would be 1,000 times as big. Not only that, but Frieza casually destroyed it, and the explosion was very violent. And on top of all of that, this is an extreme lowball. Other people have calculated him to be dwarf star level, and other people have calculated this to be large star level. And again, this is first form Frieza. Super Saiyan Goku fought Frieza when he was in his final form, and even at 1% of his power in his final form, he's still way above his first form. So, Smallville Superman's busting potential compared to Super Saiyan Goku is completely pitiful. But what is Smallville Superman's speed? Well, he may or may not have outrun a camera flash. This speed feat is very questionable. But I do think Smallville Superman is several times the speed of light. All of Smallville Superman's lifting feats throughout the series are not even a fraction of his lifting potential in the final episode. So I'm going to assume the same for his speed. However, at this point in the story, Goku is so many times faster than the speed of light, I'm pretty sure he's faster than Smallville Superman, and even then, Smallville Superman really can't do anything against him. The only other thing Smallville Superman has going for him is the fact that he's healed by the sun, but it's really not enough to give him a victory. So Super Saiyan Goku takes the win. And now we're going to move on to the final non-comic book version of Superman. Superman from the movie Superman vs. the Elite. He tanked the energy of 15 suns exploding in his face.
Cold cost? Nothing could've. That was like 15 suns exploding in his face.
And he took it like a champ! He could probably tank 15 suns exploding in his face 2 or 3 more times. But unfortunately, Superman from Superman vs. the Elite really doesn't have any good speed feats to keep up with Super Saiyan Goku. And if you want to argue that the whole first form Frieza calcs are just fan wanking, Goku even says to Frieza in the manga, you can destroy planets, stars, but you can't kill a single man. So guys, I'm just gonna say, at least from what I've seen, I think Super Saiyan Goku beats every non-comic book version of Superman. But next time in part 3, we're going to move on to the much more powerful versions of comic book Superman. I would like to give a big thank you to Webcam Parrot for helping me out with this video. He has made researching Goku and Superman so much easier for me. Also, I just started a Patreon. I always wanted to have a show kind of like Death Battle, animated and everything, except for, you know, not completely terrible. I kid, Death Battle actually has gotten a lot better in recent years. I'm planning to start this series after I finish the final part of all versions of Goku versus all versions of Superman. Was there a version of Goku or Superman I put too high or too low? Was there a version of Goku or Superman that I missed? Tell me in the comments section down below. the cleansing of YouTube, debunking SJWs and feminazis too. We criticize reactionists in hopes they get the boot, just to robot marches on.